Greater Idaho, the movement to move the border and make Idaho bigger by adding Eastern Oregon. Nearly 70% of the land in the Beaver State, by the way. 11 of Oregon's 15 eastern counties have already agreed to consider this border change. The idea has made more ground in Idaho's legislature this session than in Oregon's. The joint memorial passing the House, but is now stuck in the Senate State Affairs Committee. Hasn't even gotten a hearing in Salem. But the grassroots movement isn't going away. The cultural divide between the urban West and the rural East is just too great. It's been growing for years. Our sister station in Portland hit the road to find out what's driving this movement. Here's Pat Dooris from KGW's The Story.
Yeah, Eastern Oregon's filing for divorce.
Mike Slinkard is a lifetime resident of Grant County. He's also an entrepreneur and has his own bow hunting show that runs on a cable channel.
With waterfowl hunting becoming ever more popular and gobbling turkeys being the highlight of the spring hunting season, you're going to want to pay special attention to today's show. So sit back and relax and come hunting with us at Hunting with Hex.
He's convinced that most who live in Oregon's big cities have no idea how different the culture is out here.
What goes on here is night and day different than what goes on in Portland. It's a whole different experience.
Mike's world headquarters are located on a bluff overlooking the town of John Day. The walls of his office boast trophy heads, animals that he's killed as a bow hunter. He does not expect urban viewers to understand.
My grandfather and uncle actually were cattle ranchers up in the Monument area, which is North Grant County. And then my dad and his father were all loggers. So, you know, I've got kind of both sides of the spectrum for Eastern Oregon, I guess.
And you're third generation?
Yep, third generation Oregonian.
How do you feel about Oregon?
You know, up until about 10 years ago, I felt great about it. I was a proud Oregonian. You know, back in, around 2000 when we were starting my original businesses, the state was actually very, very helpful. But, you know, now, to us, there's a lot of sort of craziness going on in the state. We're getting laws passed that we don't agree with. We really don't feel like we have a lot of representation. We're getting taxed way more than we ever have before. And as a business person, it makes it very difficult to be located here. If I didn't have my roots so deep in Grant County, I'd probably be in Idaho already, to be honest with you. But I have my elderly parents I'm taking care of here and things like that. So.
Not everyone is ready to leave.
Welcome to Prairie City School.
13 miles to the east of John Day sits the small town of Prairie City.
Hey, are you ready?
Its only school houses kids from preschool through the 12th grade.
Rectangular prism. Can we all say that?
Many love the rural culture here. Teachers are understanding about kids showing up late. Many live on ranches or farms and have morning chores. Sometimes the birth of a cow or goat makes them tardy. And there are other cultural differences from the West Side urban schools here. Livestock, including the school's cows, are not pets.
They know that those animals are going to go to a butcher shop. They know that someone's going to eat them. So it's a whole different mindset opposed to something that you'd have in your backyard, or it's just different.
Amanda Rockhill is a teacher and the leader of the school's Future Farmers of America program. Her students raise the school's cows and pigs.
It's JC's dad, the girl we just talked to. Her dad donated these 2 hogs for our program. These 2 will be butchered, and the meat will be going to our cafeteria for our entire school to eat.
The differences between Eastern Oregon and Western Oregon are many. In all of Grant County, there is just one stoplight. It's right here in downtown John Day. Kathy Gill is a server in town. She has a second job working with adults with disabilities. She loves her part of Oregon.
I honestly feel that we should just have our own Eastern Oregon. When you come over to Eastern Oregon, people say, oh, this is really pretty, it's Oregon. No, we're Eastern Oregon. That's where we're at. It's what we call it. And it's God's country. It's what we've always called it.
She's on the fence about whether she supports the Greater Idaho movement, but like many I met, she's certain that urban leaders on the West Side, including the governor, do not care about East Side opinions.
I think she should come and listen to everyone and get everybody's opinions, but I still don't think it's going to change their mind. I don't. I think they take care of the city people. The votes are there. You can see it. We don't have much of a say when it comes to any part of voting.
From a political perspective, she is correct that the big cities in Oregon elect the governor and other top political leaders. Take a look at the results of the 2022 election for governor. The red shows counties that voted for the Republican Christine Drazan. In Grant County, Drazan got 3,145 votes. That's 75% of all the votes cast in that county. Democrat Tina Kotek got 576 votes, just 14%. But the lopsided percentages did not matter one bit. The blue counties, with their densely packed populations, voted for Democrat Tina Kotek and made her governor. In Multnomah County alone, Kotek got nearly 266,000 votes. That's far more than the entire populations of the 8 counties considered Eastern Oregon by the state's employment department. They only have a total of 191,000 people.
So the reason we're in Eastern Oregon is to talk to people about why they're so angry about the state and that they would vote to go to Idaho if the vote was tomorrow. And how would you vote on that?
I would vote yes. I'd vote yes all day long, twice on Sunday if they let me.
Okay, now why? Let's drill into that.
Well, you know, the difference now between Eastern and Western Oregon is just so vast. I mean, I go to Western Oregon, I don't even recognize what it used to be. You know, we're conservatives over here. We are conservative thinking. We're kind of, I mean, you might call us old school maybe even, but, you know, just philosophically, we match Idaho. We no longer match Oregon. There's just such a divide.
It feels like a marriage that has been in trouble for a long time.
It really angers people because we're just not listened to. They might come and visit and see it, but they don't want to solve the issues or the problems.
Is there anything the state could do to make you feel different? What would it take?
If there was something that we could do, I think we'd be trying to do it. And I'm not sure what that is at this point. I think the divide just feels so huge. It's just like we don't agree on what's white and what's red almost, you know. We can't agree on anything, it seems like. We feel like we're divorcing the west side of Oregon, we really do. You know, and in a divorce situation, one of the first things you need to do is come to the table and see if you can patch it up. And that seems to be something that we're really lacking right now. Most people out here we just feel like the west side doesn't care. Until we can talk, it's not gonna work.
Maybe it's not too late.
So it sounds like you're frustrated, but you haven't at least given up on the possibility the relationship might still survive.
Well, if there was some effort, and I think our side would be willing to put that forth effort, but right now there's no reason. We don't feel like there's a reason for them to give effort because, like I said, it really is an us and them thing.
Okay, so that's the cultural differences between the west side and the east side of the state. And, you know, they talk about these things being very divisive. This is just the first, by the way, in several Greater Idaho stories that we're going to bring you this week. Tomorrow, we're going to take a look at what could possibly be done to sort of fix this grand divide that's going on between the two sides of the state, other than splitting apart and becoming Greater Idaho.